Hello, this is your big sis, Rowena Starling, checking in with you this fine afternoon before the storm hits. Thought I'd take my chances out here and try to get my walk done. Thinking about the things that were kind of working me when I was in my 50s, I made some notes here. One of the things was this resistance to aging. You know, these things kind of get in our face. The older we get, the more we begin to try to suck in more young air. That's what I found myself trying to do. I wanted to be younger. Let's go the other direction. So there was this big resistance to aging. I'm wondering if you have that experience, if you're in your mid-50s. I was in my mid-50s, when was it? 2004. My son at the time was in his almost 20s, but not quite. And the other thing was the fighting of fat and stress and parental, regrets about, what I was able to do as a single mother, how I was able to do it, how much of it I was not able to do, what I saw as necessary that just didn't happen. Kind of beat myself up for those things. And I just wanted you, if you are a stressed black mother in your mid-50s, having these same sorts of issues, I wanted to just share a few things here about that. The first thing is, as far as this aging thing is concerned, I don't know if you are familiar with this. I guess it's a quote from Satchel Paige. Satchel Paige is an old baseball player that played in the 50s. He was signed into the major leagues, a black baseball player. His career was 5 decades long. He was striking people out in the major leagues in his 5th decade. And they asked him one time, because he didn't know what his birthday was. He didn't know when he was born. And they asked him, "So, Satchel, how old are you?" And he says, "Well, how old would you be if you didn't know how old you are?" I love that. I learned that a long time ago. Do you know the answer to that question? How old would you be if you didn't know how old you are? My answer was, you'd be ageless. You have no age. There's no number to associate how you're supposed to act, what you're supposed to look like, what you're supposed to be doing. You don't have that reference. So you're ageless. If you're ageless, it doesn't, the wrinkles don't accumulate as fast. The aches and pains don't creep in as fast because you're not associating those numbers that people do to a certain age. So I personally adopted that one a long time ago. I'm not exactly sure when it is I learned about his quote, but I love what it's done for me in terms of my attitude in aging. So this other thing about fighting fat and stress, being in shape, not being in shape. Well, I was talking to a friend of mine last week, and I reminded him that I learned from Dr. Lionel King. This is a black doctor that I met some years ago. And he's written a book, in fact. I could look it up if you wanted the information on his book. But what he pointed out to me at the time was, if you become ill with anything, these chronic diseases, these not only chronic diseases, but like cancers, and the list is as long as your arm. He says, by the time you get your first symptom, disease has progressed 40%. That means that by the time, before you even know it, the disease has progressed, blown up in your body to 40% of its maximum in your body. And then you get a symptom. All of these accumulated stresses that we allow ourselves to engage in are killing us. Caring about fat, caring about caring about anything. It's not necessary for you to go on and on about these things. Save yourself. I'll lump in the regretting of being, the parental regret crap too. Just save yourself. Enjoy. Relax. Hang out. At work, at home. Make it all vacation. Have it all be fun. You can make it so. It just depends on your attitude and how much relaxation and meditation and loving care and selfishness and pampering that you allow yourself to have. Save yourself.